Yes, Frankie Russo pre-show, man. We're going live tonight at almost 11:30. Before I do the model, before I do the model up here at 77 WABC, we're gonna help America's team help the men and women of the United States Armed Forces fight post-traumatic stress disorder. You better believe it. Send me an email at frusso14@aol.com. The fundraising is slow right now, but we ain't stopping. We're gonna help the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. That's right. Okay, I'm starting with the model, son. Yeah, this is what we're doing. Okay, we got a fraudulent selective service registration card. Sheriff Joe and the cold case posse. Barack Obama. Right? Signs a memorandum of understanding. The Obama Clinton State Department signs a memorandum of understanding with the Clinton Foundation. Right? This is before they get into office. They did it December. Now, this model is the before the Obama timeline, the Obama Clinton timeline. Now you got the Iranian Global Terror Network, right? And then you got the Iranian surrogates. Right? IRGC, Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, Quds Force, General Soleimani, Syria, Assad. You got CARE, American Islamic Relations. You got the ISNA. You got NAIT, National North American Islamic Trust. You got the Alevi Foundation. You got Asa Corp. And you got Bank Melli. Coupled with ISIS, Iran nexus. You got Al Qaeda, Iran nexus. So this is, instead of this militia being either a Sunni militia or a Shia militia, it is actually a Sunni Shia militia. This is what because what I did was this week I blogged, why is Pakistan not designated a world state sponsor of terror by the Obama Clinton crime family? And I lay out an interesting argument with the Pakistani model and the Afghan model. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty compelling. And from there, I'm going into ISIS now. Because ISIS, they're claiming, is a Sunni militia. And I'm, playing with it right now. Seeing if I have enough data to support my contention that it's a Sunni Shia militia. Blind Sheikh's Mosque. I'm putting a model together. So we got ISIS Iran, Al Qaeda Iran, Hamas Iran, Hezbollah Iran, Afghan Taliban Iran. This is the nexuses. This is part of these are the Iranian surrogates which make up the Iranian Global Terror Network. So this is where it starts. Okay? I'm going to show you all. Fraudulent selective service card, statistically significant cold case posse, Barack Obama. Signs a memorandum of understanding with the Clinton Foundation. So what we have is, and we also have, as part of with the Clinton Foundation, the Obama Clinton State Department signed a memorandum of understanding with the Clinton Foundation. So what happened was Hillary Clinton had a State Department server in the basement of her house. Basically, as she's acting in the capacity of the Secretary of State, she has a state, basically, which is a State Department server. The server she had in the basement of her house is it's supposed to be owned by the United States government, because she's all her business as she works in the capacity of Secretary of State. That's the people of America. That's the people business. That is in the basement of her house, the State Department server. And the Inspector General came out with a report claiming that server is illegal and unapproved. And if she ever put that proposal to the Inspector General of the State Department, it would never have gotten approved. So when the Obama administration, Valerie Jarrett, signed the memorandum of understanding with the Clinton Foundation, what happened? What happened was the Clinton Foundation server shared an IP address with the State Department server in the server that's in the basement of Hillary Clinton's house. They shared an IP address. In other words, the data, the documents commingled between the Clinton Foundation and the State Department. That's an NG, no good. So that's what happened there. Now, the Iranian Global Terror Network, which is part of the Iranian Global Terror Network, is the Iranian surrogates. You got Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, you got the Iranian Quds Force, you got General Soleimani, Syria, Assad, Council of American Islamic Relations CARE, ISNA, Islamic Society of North America, NAIT, North American Islamic Trust, Alevi Foundation, Assa Corporation, and Bank Melli of Iran. That, coupled with the ISIS-Iran nexus, the Sunni-Shia nexus, the Al-Qaeda-Iran nexus, the Sunni-Shia nexus, the Hamas-Iran nexus, the Sunni-Shia nexus, the Hezbollah-Iran nexus, the Sunni-Shia nexus, the Afghan-Taliban-Iran nexus, the Sunni-Shia nexus. This makes up the Iranian Global Terror Network. It attached itself to the Clinton Foundation when the Alevi Foundation gave $105,000 to the Clinton Foundation. And in addition, it's coming out in all published reports that the Clinton Foundation is a charitable fraud. So if that's the case, see, this is my beef with the mainstream media. They don't go in deep into the Clinton Foundation. In other words, what's the legal structure of the Clinton Foundation? Because if they did that, coupled with the fact that that server in the basement of Hillary Clinton's house basically is it's the State Department server. That server really belongs to the United States government because she acted under the capacity as a Secretary of State. That's people business, man. Crazy. So $105,000 was accepted from the Alevi Foundation. 650 Fifth Avenue case. That's what brings this thing. The 650 Fifth Avenue case is where the Shah of Iran owned the building on 53rd Street and Lexington Avenue, right? So that building on 53rd Street and Lexington was owned by the Shah of Iran. He went in exile. The mullahs took it over. You got Assa Corporation, Bank Melli of Iran, and Alevi Foundation. Assa Corporation was designated by the United States Treasury Department as a terrorist entity, and Bank Melli of Iran was designated by the U.S. Treasury Department as a proliferator of weapons of mass destruction. This is all within the United States jurisdiction. Preet Bharara, if I'm not mistaken, the District Attorney of Southern District filed a complaint, and Judge Catherine Forrest ruled in favor of Bharara that the Islamic Republic of Iran, operating through Alevi Foundation, Assa Corporation, and Bank Melli of Iran, was funneling money from 650 Fifth Avenue building to those front organizations to weapons of mass destruction, basically. So with all this going on, the Alevi Foundation gave $105,000 to the Clinton Foundation. This is before the Obama-Clinton administration timeline in 2009. So So this model's already set up. So now what we did was we looked into a little further into this Alevi Foundation. We found out with three sources that the Alevi Foundation gave $104 million to the Blind Cheeks Mosque. Now that's like, I don't need a front and back check from the Al Farouk Mosque signed by Omar Abdel Rahman, the blind sheik, that he bought 1,000 pipe bombs. You know, you got the 1993 World Trade Center bombing came out of there with Muhammad Al-Nuni, Jersey City Mosque, and Musa Abu Marzouk, and then you got Mohammed Mawad, the Yemen sheik, funneling $20 million to the Blind Cheeks Mosque and Jersey City Mosque, all the way to the Al Qaeda and Hamas, $5 million. Then you got the Abad El Fiji, the Brooklyn ice cream parlor over there in Brooklyn, Atlantic Avenue, $21 million in bank account, subsidizing global terror throughout the world through that bank account. I mean, it just goes on and on. This is all affiliated with the Blind Sheik's Mosque. So I don't need a front and back check of the Blind Sheik. So that being said, we look at the timeline now. Now we're going into the Obama-Clinton administration timeline. First one, release 5 Quds Force leaders released mysteriously in Erbil, Iraq, throwing human assets back in, knowing that the reason why, according to the State Department, they were detained, the Quds Force leaders were detained because to protect the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. Bergdahl trade. You got 5 Afghan Taliban going to Qatar with $5 billion for a trader, right? And they got, for example, Al-Numani, a Qatari national, giving, according to the United States Treasury Department, giving $1 to $2 million weekly to Al Qaeda in Iraq, ISIS. In addition, Al-Numani, a designated United States Treasury Department designee as a terrorist financier, gave hundreds of thousands of dollars to al-Suri. Yassin al-Suri is a Al-Qaeda Sunni, Iran Shia facilitator in the Thomas Joslin Law and War Journal. He's the reference in the Iranian city of Sahadan. So he lives in Iran. I don't know if he hasn't got whacked yet by a drone. I thought I saw something that he was, but this is one of the things that came out. Then we get the Palestinian Authority. Obama over superseding 88 senators, saying, why are we sending hundreds of millions of dollars to Hamas, to the Palestinian Authority, because that's basically a Palestinian branch of Muslim Brotherhood. They're dropping rockets on Israel. 88 senators wrote Obama a letter. He disregarded that. They wanted to block the funding. Him and Hillary Clinton waived the statutes, the federal statutes, which prohibit this sending the money under the guise of humanitarian aid, national security, and sent the money to Palestinian Authority, Hamas. And then you got the Egypt, which was a big one. MB Morsi, Muslim Brotherhood, Morsi, and it came out 1.5 billion from the Obama Clinton administration and 20 jet fighters to Egypt. And it came out in an Egyptian prosecutor claimed that they after the coup d'etat on Morsi, right? They did the coup d'etat on Morsi. That the Islamic Republic of Iran was working with the Muslim Brotherhood operatives in Egypt, training them. They got him for espionage. He's serving 20 years in prison after the coup d'etat. And then we got Syria. We sent weapons to the Syrian rebels, supposedly half a billion or something like that. And we only got 30 Syrian fighters and ended up getting 8 to 9 and end up giving the weapons to ISIS. So it's crazy, right? And then we got the Benghazi cover-up, which is basically they covered up the Quds Force, did the hit. General Soleimani, Kenneth Tillman, Claire Lopez. General Soleimani did the hit. And so this is why I believe on this model here and my Frankie Russo Media, this is why I believe basically, excuse me, that the Obama-Clinton administration is a criminal enterprise, and if, in all likelihood, in all probability, with much statistical significance, if the Obama-Clinton administration is a criminal enterprise in a courtroom of American public opinion, then we can say, in all likelihood, in all probability, the Obama-Clinton crime family is fronting for radical Islamists. And you got to see my 16. Now it's a 16-part series. I just blogged, why is Pakistan not a world state sponsor of terror? Why is Pakistan not designated a world state sponsor of terror within the Obama-Clinton administration? That's a great question. Go there, frankierusso.media. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, so here we go now. We're gonna go through some stuff. I got new stuff, some stuff I didn't use last week. We're gonna mush it all together. We're gonna have a great show. Some voting happens. So we know September 9th was early voting for North Carolina, and then we know that mailing ballots, right? And then we know this is for the presidential election. Obviously, Georgia election officials begin mailing absentee ballots September 20th, followed by Wisconsin September 22nd, Virginia on September 23rd, and Michigan on September 24th. Iowa begins mailing ballots September 29th. Pennsylvania, Ohio, Colorado, Nevada, New Hampshire start in October. Now, in addition, early in-person voting is permitted in some form by 35 other states. Among the battleground states, Iowa starts September 29th, in-person voting. Ohio starts October 12th. Georgia starts October 17th. Virginia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and New Hampshire don't have early in-person voting options. So that's where we're at with early voting. And remember, everybody, because I'll make this announcement on the live show, breaking dawn of the Trumpocrats. Trumpocrats are first Americans who came from every, well, I misread it. Trumpocrats are Americans first. That's what I meant. It's early in the morning. We came from every political party or no party at all, every walk of life, all across this country. We are Democrats, Independents, Republicans. We are teachers, technicians, cops, and coal miners. We are workers. We are your neighbors. We support Donald Trump because we believe he will make this country strong again. We believe he will make this country great again. He will make this country safe again. Donald Trump. Now, we spoke last week of the spy tech firms let governments see everything on a smartphone, and we talked about this Israeli outfit called NSO Group, $650,000 plus $700 as a setup fee, and you can just check out it's amazing what they can do. Gather their every keystroke, sound, message, and location. Crazy. Hillary Clinton's health concerns serious. They polled the doctors, and the concerns about Hillary Clinton's health are serious, saying 71% of the 250 physicians responding to the survey, Association of American Physicians and Surgeons, 20% were likely they say they're likely overblown. While more than 81% were aware of the history of a concussion, while 59% were aware of the history of this. I don't know what the thrombosis is, but nearly 2/3 said that a physician who had concern about a candidate's fitness to serve for health reasons should make the concerns known to public. So I don't know. I just believe she has health issues. I mean, I don't have it in front of me. Democrats wonder and Democrats wonder and weary, why isn't Clinton far ahead of Trump? With election less than 2 months away, Democrats are increasingly worried that Hillary Clinton hasn't built a formidable lead against Donald Trump despite his historic weaknesses as national party candidate, which is ridiculous. Even the Democratic nominee's advisors acknowledge that she must make changes and quickly. Clinton leads Trump by 3 percentage points, having fallen from her high of 9 points in August, according to the latest Real Clear Politics average. Generally, I am concerned, frankly, according to Thomas Jocelyn, the former Democratic Senate leader. It still looks positive. I think if you look at the swing states where she is right now, she's got a lead, but it's certainly not in the bag. We have 2 months to go, and I think it's going to be a competitive race all the way through. I would say she's got at least a 60% chance of winning. I think they're concerned because she spent all this money, and Trump is right there. Trump is conceivably ahead, was what I believe. And quite frankly, Trump is ahead, and they're not going to talk about the internal polling. That's where I think, that's where I think the big problem is. Last week I discussed the Jewish hatred and demonization of Israel are at the highest level of our lifetimes. Israel's ambassador to the United Nations said at a high-level forum on anti-Semitism held on Wednesday in the UN headquarters. It's crazy. Unbelievable, man. Paul Spurry, a great investigative reporter. Meet the mastermind behind Clinton's massive email scandal. Newly released FBI documents detailing the Bureau's investigation of former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's emails revealed the aide who would likely follow her into the White House as chief counsel was central to a cover-up of evidence sought by investigators. This is Paul Spurry. This guy's awesome. He's awesome. Yet despite signs that Clinton's former chief of staff, Cheryl Mills, obstructed efforts by investigators to obtain Clinton's emails, the FBI invited Mills to attend Clinton's interview at FBI headquarters as one of her lawyers. It is absolutely outrageous, says judicialwatch.org President Tom Fitton. The FBI saw massive document destruction and clear intent to withhold material evidence. They just ignored the obstruction and even let her sit in on the interview. The smoking gun on page 16 of the FBI's 47-page report, it details how Mills ultimately made the determinations about which emails should be preserved before she and Hillary Clinton, decided to delete the rest as a personal. Clinton conducted both government and personal business using a personal email account, Clinton email, tied to an unsecured server set up in her basement for her New York home. The FBI makes clear the procedure Mills used to sort out the emails was suspicious. Crazy stuff. So these are the two right now that I'm pulling out. Defiant Merkel says refugees not taking any benefits away. I don't believe it. She's facing tremendous opposition from the anti-immigration crowd. FEC warns Dems are gunning for conservative media. A key Federal Election Commission Republican warned that liberals are moving aggressively to amend the First Amendment so that conservatives are silenced and businesses are chased out of the democracy. In some of the toughest criticism leveled at Democrats, Commissioner Lee Goodman said the attack started once the Tea Party changed the American politics in 2010 election and now dominates the politics of the left. It has triggered a very aggressive movement by people to amend the First Amendment left, and intellectuals have placed it on the table. It's crazy. Polls find almost a third of Americans would support a military coup d'etat. Now, I'm not in support of overthrowing the United States government through the military or whatever, but I am very concerned about the executive branch of the United States government, even the Congress. They allow them to. Almost a third of Americans could imagine supporting a military coup d'etat against their own government. 29% of Americans could imagine supporting a coup d'etat, yet 49% they could not imagine. But still, that's a lot. A third, that's a lot. popular science, newly discovered flatworm is named after Obama. The Barack Trema Obami. Tampons coming to men's bathrooms at Brown University. How nice. Segregation or sanctuary. Black-only university housing draws criticism, some calling it segregation or a step backwards, while others say it's a boost for the black student population. A new housing program opens up doors for black students who want to be separated from the rest of the campus. The housing option is generating criticism on social media. The campus is setting aside 20 spots in their 192-unit dorm complex for African-American students who share similar interests or concerns. I think that's crazy. Triad clown couple says mysterious sightings have crippled business. We've heard at least 6 reported clown sightings. It's proven to be a serious situation for professional clowns, so much so that one clown couple, I don't know. I'm going to leave this one out. Okay, teacher discipline. UK president may let Muslims wear burqa as uniform. Senior officers at West Midlands Police revealed they would discuss allowing the traditional Islamic dress to become part of Muslim female officers' union. Crazy. French president says Islam can coexist with other religions. Isn't this guy a whack job? Islam can coexist with secularism, warning in a speech seen as preparing the ground for a re-election bid that the anti-terror fight should not undermine French values. Sounds like Barack Obama. This guy sounds like Barack Obama. This is where now Venezuelan military personnel named to oversee food distribution. There's food shortages in Venezuela. I'm very concerned. Pope proclaims the dispenser of mercy, Mother Teresa, a saint. God bless. That's a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Right? What a law. Earthquakes are hitting Oklahoma. Humans could become addicted to mind-blowing romps with sex robots. Right? Yeah, I want this one over here. The burkas. They call her Stephanie. Oh. The drones, okay. This is okay. Because we're going to hit the new stuff now. I'm coming in with some new stuff. San Francisco's private cannabis weed lounge, leather seating, and chess and concierge. The city's first high-end pot lounge with a $100 membership fee adds to a growing industry, but is harvest singling an end to the days of ragtag hangouts. I don't know. New York is back from Burning Man. Alrighty. I'm going to get ready with the new stuff I got here. I just want to see. $5,300 Wells Fargo employees fired over 2 million phony accounts. Ann Coulter attends roast for Rob Lowe. Hollywood elites call her the C word. The C word, you know what that is. 19 times. 19 times. Nice people. Respectful people. Yeah. Sure. Sure. Venezuela, I'm watching. Brazil's got issues. Venezuela's got issues. Argentina's got issues. And watch Iran. Hezbollah. Hezbollah is floating around. And nobody's watching the candy store. Nobody. Nobody's watching the candy store. Before I kick to those, let's go to the new ones. Now, Let's go to the new ones. I got a half hour. Awesome. I'm gonna start with from the bottom. Let's see what we got. New poll show. New poll show. New poll show. Ah, my thing went out. Frankie Russo, baby. Ooh. Okay, let's start. New polls show Clinton, Trump nearly tied in Michigan. Hmm. New way to tackle stress. It's something we're trying to do with the new way to tackle stress. People who see scans of their brain activity can learn to control it. Volunteers shown their brain activity with visible, audible signals. They were then trained to alter brain activity in a key area of the brain. The technique could be adopted to help treat patients with severe stress. And this is what I wanted to bring with the stress the stress center, stress reduction center for the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. And I'm going to continue to go in this direction. And even if we buy the equipment and we give it to a center, the VA, their health center, and let them run it, and we'll maybe have a doctor oversee it or something like that to augment what they're doing. Basically, we just want to augment. We want to help. So anything that we can do to start the program at some point. That's basically what we want to do for the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. That's the goal. Oh, this is an interesting article. Clinton, Colin Powell, Bill Clinton is still DICKING bimbos. Colin Powell wrote a jaw-dropping email that he doesn't want to vote for his pal Hillary Clinton because she's a greedy defender of the status quo, whose husband is still DICKING bimbos at her home. So he's still banging bimbos, according to Colin Powell. Ooh. Fact check. Were Obama and Hillary Clinton founders of ISIS? According to Breitbart News, even the left media has now acknowledged that Donald Trump has a point when he blasts Hillary and Obama for creating ISIS. Hillary is vulnerable. ISIS did gain strength during their reign. Obama created the vacuum. He lost the peace. He's the founder of ISIS. He was the most valuable player. I give him the most valuable player award. I give her the two, by the way, Hillary Clinton. Thanks to the Disher Watch, we now have an August 2012 Defense Intelligence Report on the civil war in Iran, the situation in Iraq, that openly states that the policy of the United States and its allies would support the opposition to the Syrian President Assad. That opposition at the time was spearheaded by al-Qaeda in Iraq, ISIS, soon metamorphosized into Islamic State of Iraq and al-Sham. The report appears to have originated from CENTCOM, U.S. Central Command in Iraq, well before their intelligence product was tarnished by political interference from top commanders in 2017. Here's what the report originally stamped secret. AQI, Al Qaeda in Iraq, through the spokesperson of Islamic State of Iraq, Abu Muhammad al Dani, is calling on Shias in Iraq, especially the tribes in the border regions, to wage war against the Syrian regime. Opposition forces are trying to control central areas adjacent to the western Iraqi provinces, in addition to the neighboring Turkish borders. This is in this report. There is possibly there's a possibility of establishing a declared or undeclared principality in eastern Syria, and this is exactly what the supporting powers to the opposition want. It is no secret that the United States was supporting the Syrian opposition in 2012, even until recently. So, in December 2012, thanks in large part to the active lobbying of Mrs. Clinton and U.S. Ambassador Robert Ford to Syria, Obama declared that the United States considered the opposition as a legitimate representative of the Syrian people. What was secret until the release of August 2012 Defense Intelligence Report, according to Breitbart News, the United States knew that the Syrian opposition was dominated by Al Qaeda in Iraq and the Islamic State of Iraq, groups that merged and metamorphosed we call now ISIS. So Donald Trump was right. And we're going to go into this deeper. We're definitely going into this deeper. Once I do my blog, which will hopefully I'll have it up by next Friday on my website. I'm doing a blog on this thing. Let's see, I'm going to print it out for the show, see what we're going to do. Yeah, because I want to get interesting stuff. So that's one. Mm-hmm. Let's see. John Kerry's State Department funneled millions to his daughter's nonprofit. Leaked emails. Colin Powell urged Hillary Clinton not to blame him for the scandal. GOP gains ground on Dems in voter registration in key states. Warren Buffett loses 1.4 million on Wells Fargo tumbles on scandal. 8 weeks in, they're fearing weary. They're fearing very. The Dems are feeling very weary. Cash for Trump dirt. According to Breitbart News, ooh, David Brock offers money for new dirt on Trump. Obama slams smear photo. Why is that? Why is that a smear photo? I don't understand. Why is that a smear photo with him in Muslim dress? I don't understand. Isn't that who he is? Shouldn't we know these things? I don't understand. How is that a racist? I don't get it. How is that racist? Hillary Clinton, they're worried. They're worried about Hillary Clinton. They're worried. I'd love to see the internal polls. Just 5.7 questions over our health. Just 5.7. I'm reading right from Drudge Report. 5.7% of foundation budget went to charity. Sex robots scary real. Cybers with Pulse talk dirty. This is where we're headed. A former president of Iran continues political comeback as Iran prepare for presidential election. Ahmadinejad. Deutsche Bank blood ban surges. Okay. London. The mayor of London blasts Trump for playing into hands of ISIL during U.S. trip. Yeah, here's a guy fronting. He's probably a stealth jihadist coming all the way over here attacking Trump. He's probably a stealth radical Islamist, quite frankly. Okay, so we got a few more. We got a few more going on. I'm gonna get some more articles. I got a interesting from last week, this week. We're gonna make it happen. Frankie Russo, yeah. Don't forget, we got to support the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. We got to help the America's team fight. We got to help America's team raise and help the men and women of the United States Armed Forces fight post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah. FRusso14AOL.com. Fundraising is slow, but we ain't stopping. Okay, it's Frankie Russo pre-show. Getting ready for the live show in an hour. See you in the few. Yeah.